Ever feel like our modern world with all its glass and steel, well, it's missing just a little bit of, I don't know, majesty.
Majesty.
Yeah, like a sense of awe.
Ah, I see what you mean.
So buckle up, because in this deep dive, we're traveling back to a time when cities were built to align with the cosmos and towering pyramids whispered secrets to the stars.
Ambitious.
That's right. We're off to Teotihuacan.
Of course we are.
And, more specifically, its very enigmatic Pyramid of the Moon.
Always a good choice.
You sent us excerpts from the Wikipedia article, so clearly you share our fascination with this, let's be honest, colossal monument and the civilization that created it.
And what a civilization it was. Even today, Teotihuacan just stands as a testament to just, ingenuity and ambition.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine a metropolis sprawling over 22 square kilometers,
Wow.
meticulously planned and built centuries before even the arrival of the Spanish.
Yeah, we're not just talking about a little village here. This was a thriving urban center home to tens of thousands of people. We're talking grand avenues, elaborate murals, and of course you can't forget those iconic pyramids.
Right.
They still dominate the landscape.
Absolutely.
It boggles the mind to think about the effort, the organization involved in something like that.
And what's so fascinating is that Teotihuacan, it wasn't just thrown together.
Fact.
This was a city, and this is what's so cool, designed with a deep understanding of cosmology.
Cosmology, for those of us who, might not remember our Astronomy 101.
Right, so cosmology is basically the study of the universe and our place within it.
Gotcha.
And their entire worldview, their beliefs about the gods, about the celestial order, it's all reflected in the city's layout.
So for the Teotihuacanos, it wasn't just about practicality, it was about every building, every plaza held a deeper meaning.
A deeper symbolic meaning.
Yeah, like a giant open-air temple, reflecting their beliefs in stone and earth.
Precisely. And nowhere is this more evident than in the placement and the design of the Pyramid of the Moon.
Here we go. The star of the show.
The main act. Now, this isn't just any pyramid. We're talking about the second largest in all of Mesoamerica.
Wow.
A colossal structure that would have dominated that ancient skyline.
You mentioned it being the second largest. Trying to wrap my head around that. How does it actually size-wise stack up to something I might recognize?
Okay, picture this. Okay. Imagine a pyramid nearly half the height of the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
And its base covers an area larger than a football field.
Okay, now that's an image. But it wasn't just about size, right? I mean, location. That's important for pyramids, too.
Absolutely. And they chose its location very deliberately. The Pyramid of the Moon sits at the northern end of the Avenue of the Dead,
Okay.
the city's main north-south artery. But here's where it gets really interesting. If you look at the pyramid's shape, it actually echoes the contours of a nearby mountain, Cerro Gordo.
So they weren't just trying to build the biggest, baddest pyramid out there. They were actually trying to connect it to the natural world.
The sacred landscape.
I like it.
Yeah, see, for the Teotihuacanos, mountains were more than just geographical features. They were seen as sacred places, dwelling places of the gods and sources of life-giving water.
It's interesting. Every civilization has their thing, right? Like for the Egyptians, it was the Nile. It gave life. So I can see how mountains would hold that same weight for the Teotihuacanos.
And Cerro Gordo, in particular, may have even represented Tenin, which is a Nahuatl word for protective mother or protective stone.
Protective mother, okay. So by shaping the Pyramid of the Moon to mirror this sacred mountain, they were essentially bringing, the power of the cosmos down to Earth.
Precisely. Integrating it into the very fabric of their city.
This is why I love this stuff.
It's amazing.
You can really feel that connection.
And this connection to their cosmology, to their deepest beliefs, becomes even more apparent when we start to unravel the history of its construction.
Okay, let's get into it.
You see, the Pyramid of the Moon, it wasn't built in one go. This was a project that spanned generations, with at least 6 major phases of construction.
6.
At least 6.
Wow.
Each layer built upon the last.
So it's like a giant 3D puzzle.
Yes.
Each layer holding clues to a different chapter in Teotihuacan's history.
That's a great way to put it. Each phase represents a period of growth, change, evolution in their culture. And Thankfully, we don't just have to guess what those changes might have been.
This is where it gets really exciting, right? The secret's buried within.
Yeah.
They found some lost chamber or something.
Not quite a lost chamber, but close. In 1998, archaeologists made an incredible discovery, a series of tunnels and tombs hidden within the pyramid's layer.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Tombs, you say.
Yeah.
So what treasures did they find hidden within those ancient chambers?
These weren't just your average tombs filled with gold and jewels, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
They found incredible artifacts, but the real treasures were the stories that these objects told about the Teotihuacanos and their beliefs.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity. Give me the details. What kind of stories are we talking about?
Two tombs in particular stand out.
Okay.
Tomb 1 and Tomb 2.
Okay.
Tomb 1, discovered in 1999, it dates back to around 100 to 200 AD, coinciding with the pyramid's fifth construction phase, and it was a treasure trove of offerings, skeletons, animal bones, jewelry, obsidian blades.
Wow.
It was really a glimpse into their rituals and just the importance they placed on the afterlife.
Yeah.
But Tomb 2 is where things get really interesting.
All right. Tomb 2 it is. What makes it so special?
This tomb, dating back to the fourth phase, seems to have been dedicated to the great goddess of Teotihuacan. And inside, they found a scene, carefully orchestrated, to convey a powerful message.
The great goddess. We keep running into her. Sounds like a story for another time, maybe.
Definitely.
But tell me more about this scene. What did they find?
At the center of it all was a single male human sacrifice.
Okay.
But surrounding him, almost arranged in like a protective circle, were the skeletons of various animals.
Okay.
A wolf, a jaguar, a puma, a serpent, even a bird.
Whoa.
Each one meticulously positioned.
A whole menagerie of symbolic animals. That's like something out of an ancient myth. So they weren't just random animals, right?
Right.
These creatures must held a special significance to the Teotihuacanos.
Exactly. Remember how deeply their worldview is connected to cosmology and the natural world? They believed that animals possessed a spiritual power, serving as intermediaries between the human and divine realms.
So each animal was chosen for a specific reason. Its presence there was meant to convey a particular message or invoke certain powers.
Precisely. And the animals found in Tomb 2, particularly the predators, they offer some compelling clues about their symbolism.
Like what?
We'll take the jaguar, for example.
Okay.
Often associated with rulership, strength, and the power of the night, it was a potent symbol in Mesoamerican cultures.
Makes sense.
So it wasn't just a random assortment of animals, it was a carefully curated collection, each creature playing a specific role in the overall message of the tomb.
Yeah, and what was that overall message? What were they trying to say?
Well, some scholars believe the emphasis on predatory animals, particularly in a tomb dedicated to the great goddess, speaks to the cyclical nature of life and death.
Okay.
This balance between creation and destruction that was so central to their beliefs.
It's incredible how much we can learn from these ancient burials, these silent stories told through bone and stone. But it does beg the question, if human sacrifice played such a central role, was the Pyramid of the Moon solely a place of death and darkness? What about the living?
It's true that the presence of these sacrificial offerings indicates that the pyramid was a site of ritual death, a place where the boundary between the earthly realm and the supernatural was intentionally blurred.
So not a place you'd want to hang out at night.
Probably not.
But it must have served a greater purpose beyond just being a place for sacrifice. What was its main function within Teotihuacan society?
You hit the nail on the head. While sacrifice was a central aspect of their religious practices, it's crucial to understand the context. For the Teotihuacanos, human sacrifice wasn't seen as a barbaric act, but as a sacred duty, a way to appease the gods, ensure the fertility of the land, and maintain cosmic balance.
So it was about maintaining order in the universe,
Yep.
ensuring the world kept spinning on its axis.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Every culture has their own way of understanding the universe and their place in it. But something you mentioned earlier really stuck with me. The victims found at the Pyramid of the Moon were mostly not from Teotihuacan. Who were these people?
That's a question that has fueled much debate and speculation.
I bet.
Analysis of their remains suggests that many were likely captives
Captives?
from neighboring cities or regions, captured during wars or raids.
War captives as sacrifices. That is a whole other layer to this story.
Right.
It wasn't just about religious piety then. It was also a way to showcase Teotihuacan's might,
Oh, absolutely.
to intimidate their rivals.
Precisely. The act of sacrifice, especially on such a grand scale, would have been a powerful display of dominance and control. It sent a very clear message. We have the favor of the gods. We have the power to take life as we see fit.
It makes you think about those massive pyramids, not just as religious centers, but also as potent symbols of political power. But let's shift gears a bit. We've talked a lot about the rituals and the sacrifices. But what about the everyday lives of the Teotihuacanos? Was it all doom and gloom? Or did they manage to find joy and celebrate life in the shadow of these colossal monuments?
That's a fantastic question. And the answer is yes. They
Okay.
absolutely celebrated life.
Good.
While the Pyramid of the Moon was a place of immense religious and political significance, it was also a hub of social and economic activity.
Good.
The vast plaza in front of the pyramid wasn't just for rituals.
Right.
It was a gathering place for the community.
So imagine bustling marketplaces, children playing, artisans selling their wares, all with this breathtaking pyramid just looming in the background. That's amazing. And all those smaller pyramids, rooms and patios surrounding the main pyramid, those were all part of this grand complex too, right?
Absolutely. It wasn't just a single pyramid, it was an entire complex designed to serve a multitude of functions. We're talking about smaller temples, administrative buildings, residences for priests and elites. Think of it as the beating heart of Teotihuacan,
Wow.
a place where the sacred and the mundane intertwined.
It's like trying to picture, I don't know, Times Square, but instead of skyscrapers, you've got pyramids.
Quite the juxtaposition.
Talk about a different perspective, right?
Right.
But, speaking of perspectives, there's one figure we keep bumping into whose perspective I'm really curious about. The Great Goddess.
Ah, yes.
We've seen her presence in the offerings, heard whispers of her in the layout of the city.
Mm.
Who was this enigmatic figure, and why was she so central to the Teotihuacanos?
The Great Goddess. She's one of Teotihuacan's most enduring mysteries.
Really?
You see, unlike some ancient cultures, we don't have written records, spelling out their beliefs. So we're left to piece together her story from the fragments that they did leave behind, those tantalizing clues hidden in the archaeological record.
It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle, but with pottery shards and ancient bones instead of cardboard pieces.
Exactly.
So what have we managed to glean from these pieces? Who was the Great Goddess to the people of Teotihuacan?
We know she was a central deity in their pantheon, or perhaps even the central deity.
Okay.
She's often depicted with symbols of water,
Water.
shells, waves, aquatic creatures, and is closely associated with fertility, the earth, even creation itself.
She sounds like a pretty important deity.
Very important.
A force of nature, literally. And given how important those themes, fertility, the earth, creation would have been to a civilization like this, it's no surprise she features so prominently.
Exactly. She embodies the life-giving forces of the universe, the very essence of their existence.
It's amazing. The more we uncover about this civilization, the more I feel like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. It's a journey of constant discovery. We keep digging, we keep analyzing, and each new find, it just brings us a step closer to understanding the people who built this magnificent city. But there will always be more to uncover, more to learn.
That's what I love about this stuff. There's always something more, always a new mystery to solve. Well, folks, there you have it. Another deep dive into the mysteries of the past. We journeyed back in time, uncovered the secrets of their rituals and beliefs, peered into the heart of a civilization that thrived centuries ago. And of course, we're left with even more questions than answers.
Isn't that always the way? But it's those lingering questions that keep us coming back for more.
Exactly. So to our listener, as you delve deeper into the world of Teotihuacan, keep this in mind. You're walking in the footsteps of astronomers, artists, and architects who looked to the stars for guidance and built a city that mirrored their cosmos. Each stone tells a story. Each artifact whispers secrets from a time long past. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to unearth the answer to a question that's lingered for centuries. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.